All right, let's jump right in. So many companies, I mean tons of them, spend millions of dollars on these big, fancy ERP systems. And they do it thinking it's going to be a magic wand for their operational chaos. That this powerful tech will just streamline everything. But here's the thing, and it's a hard truth. Buying software doesn't fix chaos. The real fix, well, it's something much deeper.
This is the dream, isn't it? This is the line you hear in the boardroom. It's this powerful belief that a massive tech investment is going to sort out all those deep, nagging problems with your data, your processes, your reporting. It's a really, really common myth.
So what happens when you've spent all that time, all that money, and the same old problems are staring you right in the face? Sometimes they're even worse. And that's the big question we're going to unpack today. Because the answer to that, well, that's where you find the real secret to making an ERP project actually work. Okay, so let's call this first part what it is, the magic bullet myth. It's this idea that's just so ingrained in the business world that ERP software all by itself is the solution. We're about to see why that is such a dangerous way to think. And here's the fundamental disconnect. Companies are hoping for tech solution, but what they're almost always dealing with is a governance problem. You got to think of it this way. Technology is just an amplifier. It doesn't create structure out of thin air. It just takes whatever you've already got or don't got and magnifies it.
And this, right here, is the heart of the matter. An ERP system, I don't care how advanced it is, it just can't fix your undefined processes. If your team doesn't have a standard way of doing things, how's the software supposed to enforce it? It can't fix weak ownership if nobody feels accountable for a workflow. And it absolutely, positively cannot fix poor controls. The system is just a mirror. It's going to reflect the level of discipline that already exists in your company.
So this leads us to the next logical question. Why do so many of these hugely expensive projects fail? Because they do, a lot. And you know what? It's hardly ever about the software itself. The real reasons, they're all about a lack of preparation and governance, way before anyone ever clicks Go Live. So, here are the usual suspects. Your project is basically doomed from the start if you don't have documented standard operating procedures, SOPs. They fail when a company tries to jam its old, broken ways of working into a brand new system without any process redesign. They fail when your internal controls aren't even defined, let alone mapped out. When accountability is fuzzy, and when people aren't trained properly to use the system with discipline, it's not going to work. So let this one really sink in. The problem isn't the code. It's not the cloud server. It all comes down to organizational readiness. Is the company actually prepared to operate in a structured, disciplined way? If the answer is no, that ERP project is set up for failure from day one. It's as simple as that. Okay, I know this can all sound a bit abstract, so let's look at a concrete example. This section, chaos in, chaos out. Well, it shows you exactly what happens when you try to layer shiny new tech on top of a messy process. Okay, so take a look at what we're calling purchase chaos. A company goes and implements this new ERP, but they're missing all the critical disciplines. They don't have a standard three-way match to make sure the invoice matches the purchase order and what was actually received. There's no clear approval workflow. Service invoices aren't being verified properly. So what happens? Their brand new, super expensive ERP system just gets filled up with junk data. I mean, it's the oldest rule in the book when it comes to computers, and it is brutally true here. Garbage in equals garbage out. The ERP did its job perfectly. It recorded exactly what it was told. But because the process behind it was a total mess, the data itself is useless. The system just made the chaos more efficient. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the problem. I think we get it. Now let's pivot to the solution. What does this discipline and governance stuff actually look like in the real world? It's not some fuzzy concept. It's a set of concrete, foundational pieces you have to build. These right here are the pillars. You've got to have a standardized chart of accounts so you can categorize your finances correctly. You need a clear cost center hierarchy to know where the money is going. A defined approval matrix that says exactly who can sign off on what. You need rules for segregation of duties to prevent fraud. And a maker-checker workflow, so two sets of eyes are on the important stuff. These things, they're just not optional. And, it's not just about the technical setup. You need these organizational things in place too. You need those documented SOPs we've been talking about. You need to have clear process owners who are actually accountable for each workflow. You need clean, validated master data before you even start this journey. And maybe most importantly, you need a real, hardcore commitment from leadership to enforce this new way of working. This is the one principle you have to burn into your brain. An ERP is a tool for enforcement. It's a tool for scale. It can take a well-defined process and make sure it's followed perfectly every single time across the whole company. But it cannot invent that process for you. The structure has to be there first. And this all brings us to our final section, which really just boils everything down to one simple choice. It's a choice every single organization has to make when they decide to go down this path. At the end of the day, this is the choice right here. Are you just using powerful software to do chaotic things faster? Or are you going to do the hard work of building discipline first so you can create a truly scalable system that actually gives you reliable results?
The core difference couldn't be clearer. Software, at its best, improves your efficiency. It helps you do things faster, with less manual work. But discipline? That's what improves reliability. That's what ensures the output of your system is accurate, trustworthy, and consistent. You can't have one without the other. It's just a recipe for a fast disaster.
So if you only remember one thing from all this, please let it be this. An ERP implementation is not an IT project. It is first and foremost a governance project. It's a business transformation project. It's your big chance to redesign, to document, and to instill real discipline across the entire business. And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own company, your processes, your controls, your culture. Are you genuinely ready to automate discipline? Or are you just about to drop a whole lot of money to automate the chaos you already have? The answer to that question will change everything.